Good morning, and welcome to Wake Up with the Early Nerd Live. I'm your host, Steve, the Early Nerd, and as always, I'm talking quietly because if we wake up Mrs. Early Nerd, we're all in trouble. I was reading on the internet today, and I found an interesting article that I would like to share with you guys because it kind of hits home to me a little bit personal, and I'll explain why after I read the article. So, Christopher Nolan debuted his new movie, Oppenheimer, the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the guy that invented the atomic bomb and headed the Los Alamos project during World War II. And I want to read an article from Variety about that. So grab your drink, grab your smokes if you do, and let's sit back and enjoy. Christopher Nolan took the stage at CinemaCon on Wednesday to unveil dramatic new footage from Oppenheimer, his sweeping look at the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the American theoretical physicist who helped create the atomic bomb. Nolan, who has long been a big advocate for the big screen and a critic of streaming, took to the stage to huge applause from the crowd of movie theater owners. I know of no more dramatic tale with higher stakes, Nolan said of his latest opus. And boy, did the film look nail biting, as Oppenheimer creates a bomb with the potential to lead to unbelievable loss of life and destruction. There were scenes of the physicist team engaged in the top secret work of bomb making, but the movie also spins forward in time to a point where the Soviet Union has developed its atomic technology, triggering suspicions of espionage at Los Alamos. Nolan said that the film's protagonist made decisions that still reverberate to this day. Like it or not, J. Robert Oppenheimer is the most important person who ever lived, Nolan said, adding, he made the world that we live in for better or for worse. His story has to be seen to be believed. The film, which Universal is releasing on July 21st, is one of the most ambitious big studio summer releases in years. It's a season that's usually reserved for escapist fare and superhero flicks, but Oppenheimer grapples with some weighty themes, not to mention a scientific development that reshaped the course of history. Oppenheimer guided the Manhattan Project as the head of Los Alamos Laboratory before becoming a critic of weapons of mass destruction. His story is both a dream and a nightmare, Nolan said. The movie was shot in 70 millimeter with IMAX cameras, and the trailer that Nolan shared toggled between smoky black and white and color with impeccable production design. A gaunt looking, fedora wearing Cillian Murphy, he was in Peaky Blinders, that guy. I like him, he's cool. Is a dead ringer for Oppenheimer, and he has the haunted air of a man who unleashed an awesome weapon, a destroyer of worlds. But when the Manhattan Project was launched during World War II, control of civilization did hang in the balance. I don't know if we can be trusted with such a weapon, but I know the Nazis can't, says Murphy's Oppenheimer. Murphy is a veteran of previous Nolan films such as Dunkirk, Inception, and Batman Begins. He nearly played the Dark Knight, but lost out to Christian Bale and portrayed the Scarecrow instead. The ensemble also includes Matt Damon as General Leslie Groves, Robert Downey Jr. as Louis Strauss. Ooh, that ought to be good. A member of the Atomic Energy Commission, and Emily Blunt as Oppenheimer's wife, Catherine. The cast also includes Rami Malek and Florence Pugh. Nolan is one of the most acclaimed and financially successful filmmakers in Hollywood, having helmed the Dark Knight trilogy as well as Inception and Dunkirk. His most recent film, Tenet, was released in the height of the pandemic and struggled to connect with COVID wearied audiences. Nolan wrote the screenplay to Oppenheimer and co produced the movie. Um, During its CinemaCon presentation, Universal also offered looks at Wicked, Migration, and the Fast and Furious franchise. All right. Now, personally, I think this is going to be a really good movie. Um, I've always been extremely interested in World War II. My grandfather fought in World War II. Well, he never really actually saw any kind of real combat, but he was stationed in Pearl Harbor after the attack, and he did tell me that when he got there, the remains of the attack were extremely visible. He said, and but he was very proud of his service in World War II, and he told me a lot about it, and he gave me my love, for lack of a better way to put it, of that war. I am a big history nerd, and World War II is one of my favorites. I love learning things about it. I love reading things about it, and so Oppenheimer is going to be right up my alley. As a matter of fact, my grandfather had my grandmother, I'm guessing because I don't think he was home at the time, had my grandmother save the newspaper that reported the atomic bomb being dropped. Uh, and I actually had that newspaper up until a few years ago when, due to age, it finally just ended up disintegrating in the folder that it was in, which sucks. I wish I still had that. So I'm actually looking forward to this movie. I think it's going to be really good. Cillian Murphy is a great actor. And as you could tell from the cast list that I read, it's full of really great actors. And I really think it's going to be good. So I'm looking forward to it. And as soon as I see it, I will let you guys know how it is and what I think of the movie. Excuse me. Mm. Now, it didn't give any kind of release date, obviously, so we have no idea when this is coming out. But I will keep everyone informed. So tell me, what do you think? What do you think about it? You think it's going to be good? Think it's going to be trash? I don't know, but we'll find out. I mean, you got to hand it to Christopher Nolan. Most of his stuff is like really good. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy was good. Dunkirk was really good, in my opinion. Never did see Tenet, but you know, I heard good things about it. Um, so hopefully, he'll keep his streak going, and it will be good. But we'll see what happens. Had a little hiccup this morning if you were watching live. Yes, the original video did get deleted, but whatever. It's been reshot now. It happens. Sometimes my old brain just kind of brain farts a bit and I lose my place. It happens. You can ask anyone that hangs out with me. But that's all right. It's what you deal with doing a live show. And now, so here's to hoping that Oppenheimer is good. I will see it when it comes out. Whether or not I go see it in the actual theater or not is, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to. I try to avoid going to the theaters. I try to do everything on streaming as much as possible. Theaters are too expensive. Um, but we'll see what happens. And And I think that's about it for today. Um, remember, whether you're going to work or going to school on this fine Monday morning, the new week has begun. Yes. Be careful out there. Be safe. And remember, Early Nerd loves y'all. So until tomorrow, bye bye now.